to break up with the nicest guy I've ever dated. I have been going out with a guy for over a month now. There was some initial spark, but I don't feel it anymore, and I'm sure of it. However, it breaks my heart into a million pieces thinking about telling him this. The other issue is how invested he is in this relationship. He has full confidence that this is a forever thing and already talks about the future frequently. He's a green forest, meaning he's too idealistic for me, and we are often able to resolve conflicts that come our way. And this is one of the reasons he has such faith in us working out, I guess. He's a sweetheart and says I can take all the time I want to fully get there. I feel absolutely lost. I don't know how to end this. How do I approach this? Because I know it will completely blindside him. This is deeply uncomfortable. Why? Because this doesn't sound like a bad relationship. It sounds like it's just not the relationship for you according to your assessment. Staying in a relationship out of guilt or fear or hurting someone is one of the most common pathways to long-term resentment and also emotional burnout. You're not doing him or you any favors by delaying this and trying to shrink the truth and trying to ignore it. I think what's important maybe to get through during the breakup is that you're not rejecting his goodness. It sounds like you really appreciate his goodness, but that's something that, you can make clear while you're breaking up with him, and you can communicate your lack of mutual alignment. You might very well love him, but love alone is not enough to sustain you in a relationship. You also want mutual desire. You want spark. You want truthful compatibility. You want to feel excited about your partner, maybe passionate. I'm just guessing here. Here's how I would suggest you approach the conversation. Number one, you want to be direct and compassionate. Say something like, you are one of the kindest people I've ever met. Your goodness is incredible. I appreciate it so much. But I've been sitting with this feeling for a little bit that there is something missing for me here. I don't think it's fair for either of us to keep going in this relationship if there is something missing for one of us. Two, you want to avoid over-explaining. You don't need to over-explain, you just need to explain. You don't have to justify to him or convince him why you feel the way you do. Just be clear, kind and clear. Finally, expect some grief. Expect him to be blindsided. That happens sometimes when we're in relationships and when we have expectations and hopes. The bottom line is, you don't owe someone a relationship just because they're wonderful. However, wonderful people are really hard to find. So before signing off, I do want to say, have you questioned whether this is an attachment issue? Have you questioned whether this is a trauma issue? Have you questioned whether you're self-sabotaging? I love this quote by Tom Ford where he says, if you find someone who is loving and good and you respect them and they have a good heart, don't ever let them go. Like, this is such a difficult world to live in. There are so many people who will hurt you, and if you find someone who is kind to you and good to you, you really want to think about walking away from them. And if you do decide to walk away from them, know that someone else might see their goodness and you might not be able to come back.